DocStalin. We are here with him today. He is a veteran. So, Doc, thank you for your service. As obligatory, thank you for your service. He has a hot sauce company, so go check it out, guys. You can see down below. I have tried, by the way, hashtag sponsored. He did gift me some hot sauce. I tried the Tango Mango. I like spicy hot sauce, and it was quite delicious. And it wasn't unbearably spicy. It was nice. So, Doc, welcome. What do you want to talk about today?
So I think the main thing on the plate today is going to be kind of what I've been struggling with most recently is the entrepreneurial lifestyle is basically you can build a schedule to some extent, but there's always going to be meetings. There's always going to be things that come up, and it's difficult to have something that's all encompassing for the week or schedule wise or workout routine, meditation, generally just building like a good routine lifestyle. Because there's a benefit of building routine, but it's difficult to do it when you have different things come up every day.
Tell me about your week. Give me some example weeks or days. What happens?
Sure. So I'll start with the Monday. So Monday usually is more lackadaisical. There's not much actually going on. Those are the days I usually always can guarantee get a workout in. Tuesday tends to be kind of the day that we're focusing on sales, which means I usually have to wake up early and actually have to go to, say, the restaurant or whatever it ended up being, me actually talking to people in person. And then that could last the whole day. I'm usually exhausted by the end of the day. My workout partner as well has got a new job recently. Is kind of making it difficult to manage that because we have different schedules as well. It's another part of the problem. Wednesday.
So you said you had a workout partner?
Correct. Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Sure. Yeah. He's also a veteran as well. He's also my business partner, but he's working his full-time job right now, and I like to wake up at like 6 a.m. or whatever it is, but he's not a morning person. I'm a morning person. He's an afternoon person. And then I'm not that, because I get my best workouts as soon as I wake up, and it's trying to find that middle ground. So the middle ground, maybe two a days, we say I wake up, I do cardio, later in the day, I do something else, but it's finding that balance of like what truly would work while trying to accommodate for both parties here.
Okay. Why do you feel like you need a workout partner?
Good question. So the main reason I feel like I would need one is kind of just for what's the word I'm looking for here? Keeping track of what I'm doing. I'm trying to think of the correct word for that. But it's making sure holding myself accountable. There we go. Accountability is a big part of it, along with really just I feel like I lift stronger, better. But again, it's the 80-20 rule, as you stated earlier, even in the stream, basically saying just get to the freaking gym, like just get that. And then you get in that mindset of like, oh, if he's not working out today, it means I can't work out today, even though I have an hour and a half block. I actually can go and work out. So it's kind of this like it gets in your head a little bit, and you can just struggle to make it happen.
So what I'm hearing is it sounds like sometimes it helps, sometimes it hurts, right? To have that workout partner.
Correct, yeah.
I want to put a pin on that, and let's come back to that later. But let's keep going. Keep telling me about your day. So Wednesday. So sorry, I interrupted. Wednesday.
Wednesday is usually similar to Tuesday, but right now, we're doing a business class where the whole day is pretty much booked. So Wednesday is a no-go for the most part, other than today. We happen to have an hour window for you. Thursday, again, it's partially me making excuses, partially me just kind of just thinking there is no time when there really is, kind of trying to figure out like when there's the idea of like fear of missing out, and sense of like, okay, oh well, if I go work out now, I won't have time to finish this whatever project I'm working on right now for the business, and this page, this whatever.
When you say your fear of missing out, what are you afraid of missing out on?
Essentially, that's the part too. It's a hard topic to hard to put your finger on it because there's always your to-do list as entrepreneurs is never ending. So there's always something you can be doing, and you have this. I think the word is like a analysis paralysis.
Hmm.
It's a clever way of saying it. So essentially, you have so much stuff to do, you end up doing nothing. And adding the workouts on top of all my big old to-do list incites this the problem of like uh not doing it, not working out essentially.
Hmm. I'm just taking notes. Keep going. Okay, this
Oh
is
god.
interesting stuff to talk about. I want you to finish your week, and then there's a lot of good stuff I want to talk about. So, okay,
Oh sure,
so
yeah.
Thursday. Okay, keep going.
So Thursday, okay, so Tuesday through Thursday are usually my sale days. This is largely due to nothing getting done on Fridays. You talk to a supplier, they're screw off. I just want to get
Mhm.
anything done. That's most business. But Friday, it's a little more relaxed, a daisical day. I usually get a workout on Fridays. And then Saturday is usually our take a breath day. We usually do events in the morning, but in the afternoon, it's basically stop what you're doing. Don't really worry about the business. You did what you had to do. Just play some video games. Do what you need to do. Like, work out essentially, if we have time, whatever it is, based on what time we get out, if we have time. Um, and then going to Sunday. Sunday is basically no business, and we I do work out often on Sundays when it comes to that.
Okay, so just to summarize, Tuesday through Thursday is basically like your busy work days. All the other days, you can kind of maybe work out. It can be a little bit more
Mhm.
flexible, right? Just a brief
Correct.
summary. And is that pretty consistent week to week?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, there are certain days where my sale days will move to Monday, and they
Mhm.
will move to Friday. Again, that's just the nature of it all.
Okay.
Especially,
So,
yeah,
so what I'm hearing is basically sometimes you have a 1 day shift in your week, right?
correct.
Okay. So let's talk some more about your goals. What are your goals?
Look good naked.
Hey, I'm
Keeping it
all about that goal. But what?
simple.
So basically, build some muscle, burn some fat, aesthetics, right?
Yeah, it's essentially it's aesthetically driven. It's really geared towards bodybuilding side of the things.
And so when what I'm hearing from you, it sounds like it's not working out well, right? That things are not working out well right now. Is that true?
Correct. Yeah, this last month has been kind of a wash. I've probably been to the gym maybe. Well, technically it's beginning of the month, but say take a month back from February. It's probably been the gym about maybe a handful of times, and usually I've been going 5 days a week, and then it just
Mhm.
slowly dwindled down. It's kind of started in December, especially since I got back from my last deployment. Um, and deployments, you have this strict routine. I think this is part of the problem as well. Is you have this amazing, immaculate routine when you're on a deployment. You're basically you wake up, you work out, you go to work, you eat all at the same times, and you work out after work as well, and then you just go to bed, and then you just do that for 6 months straight. And it's very simple. There's no if and or buts. It's just this general idea of like this is what you're doing. This is it, and then you just repeat, repeat, repeat. It's like Groundhog Day,
Mhm.
and there's a beauty to that. And then I get back to the civilian world, and it's a million more variables. And again, I'm doing this for the past 25 years or whatever, and it's like it's the juxtaposed position from the deployment to civilian world. I think that's a big difference between like building that routine.
So let me ask you, what do you think it would take to look good naked for your goal?
Uh, probably bump up at least 15 more pounds of muscle and go down to 8%. Well, not 8% ideally, but 10% body fat.
So
So I'm
what I
currently
mean is,
sitting. Go ahead.
what do you think it would
Yeah.
take time wise, gym wise, to get there?
Realistically, probably about a year and a half.
Okay. How many days per week at the gym for how long each session do you think?
Most of my sessions are usually an hour to an hour and a half, probably 5 days a week. I mean, my diet's good. I've definitely regardless of I don't like eating junk food, which is a great thing. But again, every now and then you'll have a pint of ice cream to the face, but who doesn't do that? But yeah, it's I would say 3 to 5 days a week.
Okay.
It depends what routine I'm doing, because currently right now the routine I'm trying to get into is the full body program, 5 days a week, but you do like 1 or 2 to 3 exercises of whatever you're focusing on that day. Like the first Monday is chest days, or Tuesday's leg day, but you're only doing like 1 extra leg day or 1 extra leg exercise, but you're also working it out the rest of the 5 days.
Can you explain that a little bit?
Sure. So let me pull the routine on my phone so I can actually give you the correct numbers here. So for this is derived from Jeff Nippert as well. So it's my take on it. Yeah, it's definitely one of the good members in the fitness community. So for day 1, backwards. Day 1 is leg dominant. So you start with a barbell squat, 4 sets, I think 4x4. So it's high weight. And you get into dumbbell bench press, lying leg curl machine, lat pull down, easy bar curl for biceps, and then hanging leg raise. So essentially, you have the full body, and then you rotate between bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep, bicep, tricep. And then the day 2 is chest dominated. So it's flat bench, seated machine fly, Romanian deadlift, chest supported row, Arnold dumbbell press, straight arm cable push down, and machine shrug. So it's kind of just that repeating. The third day is back dominated, and then so on and so forth.
Okay. All right. Lots of good stuff to talk about. Let's take a quick pivot here. How do you feel about your mental health? Just general stress levels.
Okay. It's a big question. I do like that question though. So I've talked this before about with you as well. So during my deployment, you're dealing with a very high stress level situation where every day you're basically, you're basically, I'm going to bluntly. So basically I'll tell you what we did every day. So we came from the main base. We drove a half an hour in a convoy, armed convoy, all the way to our forward operating bases where I actually worked every single day. This is the routine I did every single day. And during your training, before you actually go there, they're talking about IEDs and kind of just like how they hide them and all this stuff like that. They're like, yeah, so generally speaking, they'll like to hide it in trash so you can't see it. And then you get off like the first day we go out there, it's like fucking Mad Max. And we're like, it's just all trash. You're like, okay, this could be literally anywhere. And so you're just dealing with this like back of the head stress level. It's always there. And it's weird because you get used to it. And then coming home was this huge juxtaposed, like harsh reality or whatever what it is. It's complete like night and day scenario. So generally speaking, stress levels now are much lower. I do catch myself getting stressed over stupid crap every now and then. But I would say during the deployment, I think meditation and working out on a routine helped me out significantly. It gives you that clarity that I'm trying to think of the word right now for it, but basically it just helped out lower that stress level just a few notches, and that 2 notches really helped out.
So in civilian life, let's focus on civilian life. I don't know how the VA is. Actually, I kind of know because I've heard horror stories about the VA. But have you sought any help for just how you feel stress wise? In civilian life.
So I would like to think at least that I'm very self-aware. So I can kind of break down to like what's truly bugging me. Again, I haven't seen a shrink. I have the opportunity to do so. The military does offer that, not through the VA. I think so as well. I'm not really sure. I haven't actually gone the VA route because, like, again, for all the horror stories, and I'm dealing with it one-on-one. I have a primary care doctor, so I can actually go through them because I'm currently guard. So basically you front the bill to certain doctors that are located for TRICARE. But I'm sorry. Am I answering the question? I kind of like lost my train of thought.
Let me just ask the question a different way.
Sure.
What stresses you out during civilian life?
Realistically, on the day to day, it's been not doing what I actually want to do, in the sense of like I know what's good for me. I know it's going to boil back to discipline of waking up in the day. Like every single time I play video game, example, every single time I play video games, back in my head, just like I should be doing other things, I should be reading a book, I should be doing this, I should be doing this, and it's very difficult to kind of turn that off. But I see myself just like sitting like a vegetable, just like playing video games or whatever it is, and it's I think it's not like I want to say categorize it as like a stressor, if you will, but like that bugs me. Yeah.
So it kind of bugs you, but how do you feel about that? Like we say it bugs you. Can you describe what you feel like?
I feel like I'm doing something wrong, and then I have no control over my life, and kind of just like oh well, if you can't just simply say no to video games, and then how are you going to work out, and then like you don't end up working out, and then you don't end up working out, and you're just like, well, can't do anything right, and then you just have this like negative feedback loop in your head. It's just like running. Yeah. I'm getting better at like realizing when it's doing that. There's a book I read. I have it right over there. It's by Mark Manson, The Art of Not Giving an F word. I dropped the F bomb earlier, but
how dare you?
Giving an F word.
How fucking dare you drop an F bomb? That's fine.
Okay, good. So Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson actually talks about that, the negative feedback loop. And the easiest way to get rid of it is just realizing that it's happening and just stopping it. It's simple as that.
Well, how do you stop it?
So the first step is realizing it. As I said.
By the way, for some reason you're cutting out a lot. Do you have push to talk on, or is the sensitivity low enough? I don't think it's you. I suspect it's a Discord thing. So if it keeps cutting out, we might have to pause the call and have you call again. But
Sure.
Yours is set to a microphone sensitivity, right? Really quick, can you just bring that sensitivity down all the way so it's always on, just to play it safe? And if it keeps happening, we might need to just pause for a second and then restart the call.
Sure. Yeah, I turned it all the way down. So tell me if it's picking up any like outside noise. I do live next to a main road. Yeah.
Okay, so so the first part is to stop this. You notice it. Keep going. Tell me more.
And I think this comes into self-awareness and kind of it's like the next step I usually take is the meditation route. When you're doing a lot of guided meditation, at the end of it, there's a point where basically you're taking a moment to appreciate the level of comfort or whatever you want to call it, easiness or whatever, at the end of the meditation session. And you can kind of bring that sense of awareness into when you're having stressed out situations, and you kind of just take a deep breath, and you're just instantly at the same mindset or the same level as like you were after a 20-minute session of meditation. This comes with practice, but
that's good. So I think the fact that you're becoming aware of this is huge. How old are you, by the way?
26.
Do you feel like you're not doing enough in life?
I feel like there's not enough time to do everything I want to do in life.
Do you fear
I'm definitely one
death?
of those people. Yes and no.
Do you fear that you're going to die one day? You just didn't do enough?
Yes, I will say that. Yeah, I'm definitely one of those people that I would like to just get as much done as possible. Just my whole life needs to be go.
Do you feel like as you get older, that's getting worse or better?
Worse.
I think a big thing to consider in this is to kind of, like you said before, notice and recognize that this is happening, but also think about where this is coming from. And I think, again, Dr. K, !DRK, he's just so fucking good with really getting people to notice their behaviors and why they're doing this. Like, to think about things like, how long has this been going on for? when and why did you start thinking like this? That you're afraid of death and you're afraid of just not getting enough done in life. Right. I mean, if you don't have answers for that, that's fine. If you do have answers, we can talk about it.
Oh, you're asking me. Sorry, I thought you were like just giving a little
both.
tangent.
It's kind of both.
So,
but I'll give you a chance to jump in if you have anything to say about that.
So repeat the questions for me. So
like when did you start thinking like this? Where does this come from? Answer either one.
I'd honestly say post deployment. So when you're dealing with a situation of every day might be your last day, it puts everything into perspective.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, and it's also not at the same time. It's this morbidity of life, and you basically just take everything to the fullest, and
gotta squeeze every last drop of life out of every single minute. And if you're not doing it, you're fucking up. Why aren't you squeezing life out of every last minute? Damn it.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's like what I was talking about earlier, my schedule. Like I have my Saturdays where I chill and I calm down. Like I almost hate it. I almost want to be like reading a book. I almost want to be doing stuff. It's
how dare you? How dare you not be productive every last fucking minute of your life? How dare you not be hitting the gym? How dare you not be working on your business with every single minute? Does that sound like a familiar conversation you have in your head?
Absolutely.
When I say it like that,
I know it's very toxic.
So when I say it like that, what do you think about it?
It sounds exactly like what I'm actually going through every single day. And it's this, I know it's unhealthy, but it's like hard to stop it. But like,
I think a big part of this is it's great. On the one hand, you want to make the most of your time on this earth, right? But it's a pendulum.
Yes.
It can swing both ways. And right now, which way do you think it's swinging? If you don't be ultra productive, you're a fuck up. And you just keep beating yourself up that you didn't do enough. I think
so it's
go ahead.
It's somewhere in between. So like I'm in the mindset right now where I'm working my freaking ass off, so I don't have to later. I'm in the middle of buying a house or rental income property. I'm starting the business right now. I'm basically trying to set myself up for success in the next 10 years and just hustle, so I can relax earlier, retire at the age of 35 or 38 or whatever the hell my actual ideal retirement age is. And kind of just like do that now. And if I feel like I don't put in the work every single day during this period of time, I won't be able to do it efficiently later on. Okay,
those are great goals. I think those are great goals to try to like work hard, retire early. How do you treat yourself when you feel like you're not achieving those goals?
It's a good question. I'm trying to think. So I feel like the negative feedback loop comes into play so often here. It's kind of just the idea of like, hey man, you're not doing good enough. So you kind of need to pick it up. I think I'm not answering the question properly. Can you word it a different way so I can actually?
What's the conversation that goes through your mind when you come to a point where like you feel like you're not working towards your early retirement goals?
Once it comes to the realization, I usually kind of think the long-term goal right there. But it's very easy to get rid of or get into the minutia, the nitty-gritty of the day-to-day stuff and kind of get lost in that, not see the bigger goal. It's a side tangent of like goal setting is very important, but that's not what we're trying to answer here.
Right. I don't care what your goals are. I just care about when you feel like you're not hitting your goals. When you feel like you're not taking steps towards your goals, how do you feel about that? How do you treat yourself? What goes on in your head?
Sorry, I don't want to think about this so hard right now.
I think we talked about it earlier. Do you beat yourself up when we feel like you're not doing enough?
Yeah. I do tend to do that.
That's where I think we should draw the line, where we're transitioning from like a healthy attitude towards goals towards, a restless obsession. That's what I mean by the pendulum swinging both ways. I get the impression that you're not a lazy fucker, right? You get a lot of shit done. You get so much shit done that you're on the other side that you're afraid you're not doing enough. And it almost feels like the slightest hiccup, you're just beating yourself up that you're not doing enough and you got to do more. You piece of shit. Get back on there. You don't need to be playing games. Everyone else is getting ahead of you and you beat yourself up. While that is effective in actually accomplishing and executing stuff, I don't know if that's really the best thing for mental health. I'm not sure if that's really the healthiest thing to do long term. And I think this might carry over into other things. You mentioned earlier, analysis paralysis, afraid of not getting enough done, and it starts to probably negatively impact you. I would like you to consider acceptance, to start thinking about accepting that you're going to die with an unfinished to-do list. That one day you're going to die with a lot of stuff that you wish you could have done. A lot more that you wish you just could have done, right? You don't need to hear like, hey doc, man, you just need to push harder. I think you're doing like, you could do more, man. I think you just, try a little harder. Like, you don't need to hear that. You're the exact opposite. You need to accept that you can't do everything and that you can live life with just doing what you can do, whatever that is, for that day, for that week, and that month. Accepting that. Because I suspect with your analysis paralysis, you have, like, it sounds like you said your work schedule is not too consistent and you don't have, you have a kind of like crazy schedule and stuff. I'm hearing you're working 3 days a week, and I'm hearing you got 4 days on a fairly consistent basis where 4 days you could work out. Even 3 days you could work out. And you don't need to achieve the goal of looking good naked. You don't need to be working out 5 days a week. It's helpful. I think that's great, but you don't have to. Right? We can pare this stuff down. But even if we pare it down, I'm afraid you're going to get into negative feedback loops where you're beating yourself up the moment you aren't doing enough. Or I think this is one part, the mental health battle of just acknowledging where this is coming from, right? You've talked about that, accepting it and trying to sit with it and then start moving on. Right? What do you think about that?
That was heavy. I like that. That's definitely something that I'm working on. But yeah, that really puts into perspective of like, you perfectly encapsulate like what needs to be done kind of going forward. There's the idea of making a to-do list. Say you have the 80-20 rule. Like you make a checklist of 10 items, whatever needs to actually be done that day, the week, whatever that ends up being, and then you just literally throw out 9 of the 10 items. And during that process, it kind of gives you, it's going towards that acceptance. But yeah, I will say that's definitely, you had it spot on. Kind of just taking that step back, realizing that I will die one day, realizing that I will have unfinished goals. I will have all of these things, and I shouldn't be upset about it. I did the work, best I could, and you need to be along for the ride. I take myself out a lot of times as well, or at least I try to, in a sense of you're going for that long-term goal, but you lose the minutia of the day-to-day. You lose what actually makes life important, which is friends and family and other people. And you're just grinding, and it's tiring. But
what I like is I like goals. I think goals are good to have. It's good to move towards things. There's always a balance, and where we start to lose that balance is when we start to beat ourselves up in guilt and shame. Guilt and shame can be a very useful tool externally to just get shit done, but I don't think internally it's a good long-term system. So I want you to start thinking about that more, thinking about those loops, identifying it, thinking about where it's coming from, and consider approaching this from a place of acceptance that, hey man, I was there too. I just wanted to do, get shit done and just keep going. I'm still kind of like that, right? I feel like we're kind of similar. We're both type A personalities, just like we guys gotta get shit done. And my to-do list, my Google Calendar is always fucking packed. It's never ending. The difference is when I don't complete the tasks for the day, I don't beat myself up. I don't attack myself. I accept it and I just reschedule things, and life keeps going on. And I occasionally come back and look at my goals, and I look at what I'm doing. I look at like what I care about in life. I care about my wife, care about my kids, care about domination time, I care about the streaming. I make sure that I'm not dropping any of the balls. Nothing is falling apart. Nothing is breaking. Things are moving forward. I'm happy with that. I can accept that. I can accept mediocrity, sadly. That sounds bad for a lot of people, but sometimes accepting good enough is what we need to hear. Now, all that being said, let's shift gears. Let's talk about some practical stuff. There's one more thing I wanted to touch on. I'm going to help you craft a workout plan, or consider like the real meat of this conversation is going to be some practical help with your workout plans and whatnot. And, like that's the real stuff I want to make sure we get to. There's one more thing I wanted to touch on, which is your workout partner. Accountability. You like your workout partner for accountability. Why do you feel like you need that accountability from another person?
So anytime that I've been working out with him, it seems like I am achieving my short-term goals a little faster. We always push each other a little harder. It always just seems like it's less of a. Don't wrong, I enjoy my time in the gym, but it feels like less of a chore. Some of the days that you're not really feeling like going to the gym or whatever it is, and you just show up. And if one person shows up, the other person basically you kind of just have to go. It's kind of just how that works with the whole mindset. But he hasn't gone to the gym in like probably like a month now, like straight, like so. And it's this idea of like oh, I'll do one day here, one day there. But yeah, I think the accountability really comes into play with lost my train of thought.
It's okay.
I hope I answered your question.
You kind of did, yeah. Let's talk more about what happens when he's not there. When he's not there, do you go?
I lost your microphone for a second.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, when you don't go to the gym, because when he doesn't go to the gym, what's going through your mind? And do you even go to the gym? And what goes through your mind?
So majority of the time that he doesn't go to the gym, unless I'm going in the morning, which usually only happens on Mondays and Fridays, I'm not going because he goes after work, and he's had this hectic schedule. I mean, and this is all his excuses or whatever. Actually, end up being he actually does have time, he doesn't, whatever. But I am not going, and then I get hyped up like, hey, I don't have an answer by like. He gets out of work at 5 o'clock or whatever it is. Like if I don't have an answer by 3:30, I'm like waiting, not waiting all day. I'm obviously doing stuff, but like I get to the 5 o'clock part and he's like not going, and I'm already tired, and I make all these other excuses, and then it just kind of like snowballs because they both end making excuses, and then like the accountability actually works against us. Mm-hmm.
What's going through your mind in the morning though? Is Monday morning you're ready to go to the gym? He says he's not going to go. What goes through your mind at that moment?
You cut out again, but I think I know what the question was.
Yeah,
on my side.
Let's just take a quick second to both of us close our Discords, reopen Discord, and reconnect this call because I think we're both cutting out for each other, and this might help. So if you're still there, listening to me, DocStalin, restart your Discord, please. Okay. All right. Let's try that again. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Good.
Wait a second. Talk some more.
Test. Can
you do it like a clap? Okay, it seems synced. Okay. I thought it was desynced. Anyway, all right. So let's go again. I was saying on a Monday morning, you're ready to go to the gym. Your friend isn't. He says, sorry, not going to make it. What's going through your mind during that moment?
Usually kind of just like I don't like him. I kind of worry about him getting unfit. And then my workouts tend to be a little more half-assed. Um, but exactly what's going through my mind.
Because you end up deciding not to go to the gym, right? If what I'm hearing is you. Oops! I gotta change this. What I hear from you is you're often considering you basically don't go to the gym if he's not going to the gym, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So,
so
let's talk about that decision to not go to the gym. What is going through your mind that leads up to that decision of I'm not going to go today?
So it's, I mean, simply put, it's basically just like if he's not going, then I'm not going. I mean, it doesn't really go anywhere past that. You know, it's simply like.
So let's back up there. Let's stop there. Why do you feel like you need him? You mentioned accountability. In the past, have you ever held yourself accountable to yourself for just getting things done?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, during my deployment, it was just myself.
How was that?
It was fine. I mean, I understand that I can deal without him. It's just like this. It's a stupid thing. I understand. Like I really realistically should just be going regardless and have my own personal journey. Because obviously we may have separate goals or whatever it ends up being. And sorry, my phone just went off.
No worries.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's almost unhealthy at this point, especially if he's not going to make that decision over to it and make my own decision. And it's my own fitness. It's on my own body. I really just need to cut that tie. If he's there, good. If he's not, whatever. It's not a big deal. I mean, that's realistically what I should be doing, but it's not that.
What's stopping you from doing that?
Discipline, I guess.
I don't know if I buy that. You sound like a pretty disciplined guy. You get a lot of shit done, right? I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but like to me, you strike me as a pretty disciplined dude.
I think it ties back into the to-do list of like having other stuff I could be doing with my time that I feel like would benefit more towards my long-term goals. I think that's probably where it is. And the fitness goal, I don't currently have like a fitness goal, or I don't have a deadline, if you will. That if it's actually a real deadline or if it's a made up one.
So might actually help. I'm gonna do a little bit of reaching here. It sounds to me like you have two priorities: diet and fitness priorities, and business or get shit done priorities. And what I'm gonna guess, and I could be completely wrong here, so you tell me. When that conversation happens where you're ready to go to the gym, your friend says no, he's not gonna go. You think I got other shit to do anyway. Fuck it, we'll just push it off, and I'll take care of my to-do list. Is that what's going on?
Exactly what's going on.
That's what I was looking for, because I was thinking your conversation in your head. That's what's happening, where you say, you know what, I got this to do. We're going to do the higher priority thing. Okay. I'm not trying to shame you. I'm not trying to like judge that, but it's important for us to identify the conversation that leads you to not going to the gym. And the question is, does that even matter? Does it even fucking matter? Because I've heard some things. I've heard some different goals. You want to retire early. You want to look good naked. My real question for you, DocStalin, is what do you really care about in life?
Ooh, going deep. I like this. Kick my camera 1 second.
It's okay.
Is that a focus?
We're going so deep. We're just punching cameras.
So I think it's so like long-term goal, like lifespan is building a legacy. I think a lot of guys have this idea of their job is their life or whatever it is. Actually, one of my teachers actually talked about this and how the whole mindset was actually built during the American Revolution, of kind of idea of the pursuit of happiness. And my pursuit of happiness ends up being just building enough financial freedom to be able to do what I want. And what I want most likely is spending time with my friends and family, just living a simple life and just being the best human father when the times comes I can possibly be. And I really enjoy helping others in mentorship and whatever role ends up being. I really enjoyed that part.
So I'm gonna kind of speed this part of the conversation along and just guide you a little bit more towards the answer. You want to be basically you care about your family, your future family. I'm guessing you don't have kids right now, but potentially future kids, right? You want to be kind of the best prepared human you can be for that. What I think you need to do is connect that goal of being the best human you can be for those people with your diet and fitness goals today. And you need to make this connection yourself, that your diet and fitness goals will lead you to be in that position to be a better human for your future family, for whatever it is you want to do in the future. A classic example is the worst thing that one of the most tragic things could happen that I'm sure you can think of people like this is you grind yourself into the dirt to reach your financial goals only to lose all your friends and family and your health. And then like you're finally retired at like 40, but you have no one left and you're just fucking crippled and your health sucks, right? Because you worked 12-hour, 16-hour days, sleeping 5 hours a day, right? So that's an example of things didn't quite turn out the way we wanted them to. Now, the conversation that needs to happen when you're on a Monday morning and your friend says, nope, sorry, man, I don't feel like going today. The conversation that needs to happen is you need to connect your lifetime values and what you care about and your lifetime goals, connect that with what you're doing today and see that it does matter. Now, I'm not saying you need to do a 5-day Jeff Nippard program, although I do like Jeff. I'm not saying you need to work out every single day and you can't drop a workout. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying what I'm trying to help you with is in that moment when this conversation is happening, you need to be identifying what you're doing and how you're assigning things on certain priorities. And I'm not saying cutting out workouts is a bad thing, because you can cut out workouts. But I'm saying you need to think about what it is you really value in life and what it is long-term, what your goals are, and how you can kind of make this stuff work together and kind of in the moment, not kick it down the curb when actually you do care about it. I'm not saying you do care about it. I'm saying these are things you have to think about. Does that make sense? I'm being kind of abstract here, but do you have any thoughts or questions about that?
No, I really like that idea. Essentially, just my goals do align as well with fitness of kind of just being that role model for when the time comes for my kids or whatever it is, and kind of just leading by example by being physically fit. I don't want my kids to be overweight. I want these things, and it's this idea of like you can't tell your kids, don't be overweight while I'm sitting there at 400 pounds, not doing anything. Not that they ever get to that point, but like it's that leading by example mindset.
Yes. Very good. I need a sip of water. I was coughing and muting while you were talking. I was hoping you'd go longer.
Enjoy a swig of water.
So do you feel like that makes sense? Because I'm going to move on from the topic if you feel like that makes sense. I want you to be digesting and thinking about that stuff, about just how to connect those two. And now we're going to get to the actual practical advice help aspect of why you came to me to talk about a workout plan, all that stuff. First of all, the punchline, I don't think you need a workout partner. I think it's being counterproductive for the accountability thing. Sure, it sounds like it's nice to have him when he's there, but it's too inconsistent and that's directly impacting your actual outcomes. So I didn't hear from you. I didn't hear anything about being afraid to say no to him and just say like, hey man, I have to do my own thing. I didn't get that sense at all. It sounds like your relationship with your friend and workout partner and business partner is comfortable enough that you can just say, hey man, I'm just gonna go work out on my own and like no feelings will be hurt, right?
Correct. Yeah. We're consistently assholes to each other. Just
perfect. Best friend assholes. Perfect. So dude, try summon that discipline that you have, because I know I don't need to, this is not that hard. Like you have the discipline inside, you've done this before. So get that discipline that you've used while you were deployed, bring that in, think about your goals, and Think about long-term what you care about and how your decision to go to the gym is going to help you achieve those goals long-term. Okay. Now that we've done that, let's actually craft a workout plan that's going to be consistent for you. From what I've heard from you, consistency is important. You like having a predictable schedule, right? That's one.
Correct. Yeah.
The next thing, number two, not only do you like having that consistent schedule, you want to look good naked. And you understand, I believe, I'm not even going to get into calories. I'm not going to get into energy balance. I'm not going to get into macros. I'm not going to get into progressive overload. You're already familiar with all those concepts, right?
Correct.
Okay, so we're going to just jump straight into the good stuff. You've got, let me just bring up some stuff here. Let's craft a program for you. So I'm going to bring this up on screen. Actually, let's bring this up a little bit. No, that's too much. That's too much. Okay, let's move this around. There we go. Tuesday through Thursday. So you have 3 work days, right? 3 work days back to back. You have 4 days, or basically Friday through Monday, 4 days to work out, right? Right? So far, that seems correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, good. What kind of... So first of all, you have access to a normal gym, right?
Correct, yeah. The only caveat is that the gym doesn't open up until like, I think 7 a.m. on the weekends. And a lot of my shows, I have to be like out the door by that time.
Okay, so let's get some hours. How many hours can you spend in the gym each day?
Maximum, probably an hour and a half.
Okay. 4 days a week, right?
Correct.
How often does it happen where you can only do 3 days a week at 1.5 hours?
I'd probably say like every, I mean, realistically, probably not often. I mean, I could make all excuses I want to, but realistically, the fitness does take a priority over some other things.
All right. So,
because kind of building on what we talked about earlier. Yeah.
Right.
Step back and say, yes, it's very important.
So, there's a lot of different directions we can go with on this, like the next step for building a plan. I'm going to just throw out some questions. How do you like Jeff Nipper's plan?
Honestly, I love it. It gives me the best part is the main thing he put up as well right now is that you don't actually ever have sore legs because you're spreading it throughout the week, which is always good. You not have like the 2 day after leg day cramps.
Does Jeff have a way to adapt it to 4 days a week?
Not that I'm aware of, but you probably could. Realistically, I could just kind of cut it up and actually like move it together, make it work.
I'm trying to think of what to do here. I have a couple of thoughts. How long would it take? Go ahead. I was gonna say, how long would it take for you to start like sending me pictures of the plan so I can just see what it looks like? Like, for you to start screenshotting it and sending it to me. I
don't have the whole thing written down currently right now. So it
would not be easy. Okay, so fuck that idea.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think. So there's a couple ways we can go from this. We could do either like take his 5-day plan and adapt it to 4 days, or we could just start fresh off of what do you enjoy doing, kind of build a plan from there. I'm leaning
like
towards. I was leaning towards Jeff's plan and adapting it to 4 days because I'm guessing you paid for it. It sounds like you enjoy it. And it probably wouldn't be that hard to adapt to 4 days, but what are your thoughts on that?
So I think we could probably meet somewhere in the middle ground of adapting a full body workout spreading throughout 4 days, but kind of intertwining more exercises that work for me.
All right, so let's do both. The good thing is the quick answer for the workout plan for Jeff's 5-day to adapt to 4 days, it really isn't that hard. The way I would adapt this, and this is coming from a place of I have not read it and I don't know. I heard a little bit from you. Based on what you're describing, it sounds actually super easy to adapt by just turning the 5-day plan into a 4-day plan, and then you just kind of rotate the 5th day as the start of the next day 1. So what I mean is you have Monday through Friday. No, let's back up. Day 1 through 5. And so week 1, you do days 1 through 4. And then week 2, you start on day 5, and then you do day 5, 1, 2, 3. And then next week you start on 4, you do day 4, and then 5, and then 1, 2. Does that make sense? How I'm rotating that? So
yes,
without seeing the plan, I'm just taking a stab at it that his plan is probably adaptable in that sense, because he is doing full body every day. And he's kind of already splitting it up to the point where it doesn't really matter. It doesn't even matter what day you start with, because no day interferes with the other day. It sounds like, right?
There's the dominant day for each of the weeks. So you're doing like 2 to 3 exercises for chest the first day, or legs the first day. And the next day is legs.
So what I mean is day 5 and day 1, is there a chance of getting back-to-back dominant exercises, such as day 5 you do legs as the dominant exercise, and then day 1 you do dominant exercises? And so by rotating it like I'm describing, does day 5 and day 1 end up going back-to-back, and then you're doing too much legs back-to-back? That's my concern. Would that happen? What's day 5 and day 1? I don't think so. Yeah, so that's why this would work. Because every day it sounds like it's scheduled such that when you do it exactly like his plan, one day does not interfere with the next day, which means it's actually probably very easy to just rotate on a rotating 4-day schedule. That's how I'm coming to these conclusions. And so later, after the interview is over, you can feel free to screenshot the program and just send it to me over a Discord DM, and I can just quickly review it, double check that this would be okay to do. Right. So it just for completeness sake, where this would not work would be like, let's say you did a Frax GSLP or Strong List 5x5. One of those, for example, would not work with your schedule. Where like let's just say you did 3 days. Instead, you have 4 days. Right? We talked about you had 4 days to work out, but let's just say you had 3 days back to back working out. Frax GSLP or any Strong List 5x5 would not work, because you're doing squats 3 days in a row, and it's hard squats, and so it's just not going to work, right? So Jeff's plan actually works really well. I think you should stick with that. That's my first go-to. But let's just go ahead and craft a plan for you if you don't enjoy that. We'll go through a little bit of crafting a plan for someone from scratch. And then afterward, we're going to open up to questions. If you guys have any questions specifically for Doc or his situation, we'll take those. And then we're going to end the interview. So let's get back to this, building a plan. Doc, tell me, you mentioned earlier there's certain exercises you enjoy. So tell me what you enjoy. What do you like doing?
I love doing compound movements. I love every single one of them.
Those compound movements. Fuck yeah.
Love the compound.
Yeah.
Loves
what
it.
Else?
Make sure loves is don't capitalize.
Loves. Gotchi. Get that gotchi in there. Anyway, okay, what else?
I like free weights. I don't like it. I like to limit machines, unless there's a few exercises such as chest flies, and I'm trying to think of what's another one. I like. Yeah, basically chest flies is the only other machine one I realistically like. Prefer the machine over doing free weights.
So basically limit machines except for isolation. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, keep going.
What else I do? I think that's basically. I mean, I would ideally I would like to build up my back a little bit more as well.
Okay, so I was about to say aesthetics. Talk about aesthetics. What parts do you care about? Back. What else?
I mean, I care about everything. I care about the full image, but like back is probably my weakest. During my initial beginner phase, I neglected back a lot. So now I just have huge quads, and I have like a lacking back. Those
quads, love those quads. Okay, so legs. What I'm hearing is you don't care that much about legs, right?
Yes, yeah. That's the thing. He spelled legs too.
Sorry, typing is hard. We're got the grammar police on us. We gotta be extra punctual. Legs don't care about as much. Okay. Okay. There's something else I was gonna ask. Something else that you commented on earlier, I want to bring in here. You don't like DOMs, right? You don't like soreness?
I I don't mind it. I don't mind it. It's just like when you have struggle sitting down. I mean, it's part of the experience, if you will. I was kind of just making a joke.
Okay, got it. Okay, so you don't mind DOMs then? Soreness?
No, not really.
Okay, all right, good. What do you think about as a starting point for 4-day plans? Fat or full? Are you familiar with those?
Okay, so that's power hypertrophy something. I think so. So the first 2 days you're doing it's like push pull. No, it's upper lower, right?
They're generally upper lower types. So both of those they're pretty similar. They're both kind of like upper lower splits, and then you kind of you have 4 days. So full is a good one, PHUL. So like that's upper and lower splits, like day 1, 2, 3, 4, upper, lower, and then you kind of just change the rep ranges between them. So you're kind of doing the full body stuff, but you're basically changing up the rep ranges, but you're still doing full body 4 days.
Okay, yeah, I think I ran a similar routine prior to my deployment.
So I'm trying to decide if I should just screenshot this, screenshot this, or just build something along those lines. Because the thing is, like, I don't want to waste everyone's time and just type it out again, and also it's gonna take a lot of time. So instead, we're just gonna pull up pictures of fat and full.
I think it's on the Reddit.
Yeah. These are common workout routines, and they're kind of widely available. And so we're just gonna look this up, and look at it instead, and see if we should modify it for you. Okay, so I'm just gonna prepare this.
That's a simple way of putting it.
So this is fat, PHAT. And we're just gonna zoom in on it. Let's see, what's the best way to do this? Okay, so on the fat routine, power hypertrophy adaptive training program. So basically Monday, upper power day, Tuesday, lower power day. You skip Wednesday, you have a rest day, which in your case, you may not have a rest day. So you have to ask yourself if you can handle this, which it'd probably be okay to do this, 4 days back to back. And then Friday, you would have a lower body. Hold on a sec. Why is this 5 days? It's a 5-day plan.
Just for a side note as well, if I'm going to do it 4 days in a row, you don't have to answer this question right now. Dieting, just simple macro changes. I just want your recommendations on that.
Okay, we can talk about that. Let me make a note for that.
Just so I'm most efficient in the gym, because there's days you might need some more carbohydrates than the other days.
Yeah, so the full routine, PHUL. Let's look at this one as our starting point instead. Upper power, lower power, rest 1 day. Upper hypertrophy, lower hypertrophy. So it's very similar, but this is a 4 day. So we're gonna do the 4 day instead. Basically, starting with for upper power, bench press, barbell bench press, incline dumbbell bench press, rowing, lat pull down. So you're doing all this stuff. Okay, overhead press. I'm just gonna read this all out loud, and then we'll talk about it. So day 1 would be barbell bench press, 3 to 4 sets, 3 to 5 reps. Incline dumbbell bench press, 3 to 4 sets, 6 to 8 reps. Bent over row, 3 to 4 sets, 3 to 5 reps. Lat pull downs, 3 to 4 sets, 6 to 8 reps. Overhead press, 3 to 4 sets, 5 to 8 reps. Barbell curl, 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps. Skull crusher, 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps. Lower power, squat, 3 to 4 sets, 3 to 5 reps. Deadlift, same thing. Leg press, 4 to 5 sets, 10 to 15 reps. Leg curl, 3 to 4 sets, 6 to 10 reps. Calf raise, 4 to 5 sets, 15 reps. Hypertrophy, incline barbell bench press. Let me scroll this up a little bit. Cable crossover. All of these are like 3 to 4 sets, 12 to 15 reps. So I'm just gonna name the exercises. So incline barbell bench press, cable crossover, seated cable row, 1 arm dumbbell row, cable lateral raise, 1 arm dumbbell preacher curl, cable tricep extension, lower hypertrophy. All of these 10 to 15 or 12 to 15 reps, 3 to 4 sets. Squat, Bulgarian lunges, leg extensions, leg curls, seated calf raise. So from this plan, I would take this as your starting point because this is already a good plan and it's already scheduled for 4 days and it works for you. All right. That being said, what would we modify for this? You care about aesthetics. So this is how we would modify pre-existing plans to work for you. There's a couple things. So one, abs. You care about abs, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So
yeah,
they say, they say at the bottom, ab workout can be done at the end of any of the training days or on off days. You don't have time on off days, so we have to choose training days. Between upper body and lower body, which one do you care more about?
Probably upper.
Yeah, you care more about upper. So you should put more effort into upper, and so therefore lower we care less about. Therefore, for lower, where are we going to put the abs? Lower days. We're going to put abs on the lower days because you have the space there because you kind of don't care about them as much. So put the abs on lower days, okay? So end of the lower days, throw your ab workouts in there. Next, upper days. How should we modify this workout for the upper days for it to match your goals? Because you care about what for your aesthetics? You mentioned earlier.
Probably more geared towards back and chest.
Exactly. You care more about your back and chest. Chest is news to me. I thought it was just back. Which one do you care about more?
Yeah.
Pick one.
Yeah, back probably.
Okay, back. So what I would flip here is I would flip the order of back workouts with your anything that's back for either upper or lower day would become number one. And then, because you have to choose your priorities. So basically, bent over row and lat pull downs would go before barbell bench press and dumbbell bench press. The one downside of doing this, and let me know if this question is too advanced. If you're not sure, don't worry about it. What's the downside of doing this? By putting the pull exercises first, we're pushing the bench press and push exercises second. And we're putting that next to overhead press. What's the downside
So
of that?
a lot of the supplemental muscles that you're going to be using in the other exercises will come into play. And your fatigue, well, first off, fatigue.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously. But you're also going to be using some of your other muscles.
Yeah.
From those other exercises that they're going to be fatigued as well during those other ones. So especially I noticed if I did a back dominant workout the day before I did bench press, my bench press suffered. So I had to switch. I was doing a push pull legs routine. I had to make sure I was either starting. I did push first, then pull.
So you definitely agree with the issue is fatigue. And now, previously, the way this one works is you have push and then pull and then push and then pull, barbell curl, right? That's pull and then push. So this is splicing things up such that your push muscles have some time to rest. The downside of taking the pull movements and putting them first, one thing that we're changing up is now your push might suffer more and you might have worse performance for push. However, what I'm hearing from you is you care more about the pull than you do the push. So this is something you have to keep in mind. Like we're taking a plan that was intelligently crafted and we're making modifications. Keep that in mind, that you have to ask yourself, is your push suffering so much that you actually feel like, you know what, I don't like this. Maybe I should rearrange this to what it was before. I can't answer that for you. This is going to be up to you. Ask yourself questions like, am I progressing on these exercises? Am I not progressing? Do I wish I progressed more? Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, because I mean, you got to be realistic about it in the sense of like if you see yourself not progressing on the bench press as much as you would like to, it's obviously because you're not giving the time or as much time as you are for the back.
Right. Another thing to consider here is this is slightly more push heavy for the upper power day, and then down here for the upper hypertrophy day, it is also a little bit more push heavy. So it's basically a bit more volume for the push muscles, which is a little bit more aesthetic. A lot of guys care about that. I care about that. The question is, do you care about that? Do you want to put more volume for your back and your pull exercises?
I I would say yes. Realistically, yeah. At least until the point where I feel comfortable enough with or it's in the same level as my chest,
Yeah.
and then you can adjust as needed.
One of the things for taking this plan and modifying it for what you would enjoy doing is thinking about questions like, which body parts do I care about the most? Where am I progressing? Where am I not? Where do I want to add more volume? Can I even afford more volume? Because this might take way too fucking long, right? You may not have time in the gym to complete this whole workout. Maybe you do. Maybe this takes only an hour and you can actually throw in a couple more sets for your back. I don't know. These are the types of ways that you should ask yourself as you kind of like modify a plan. So I'm just kind of walking you through how to take an existing plan and modify it. Now, that being said, one last thing about flipping things. Let's look at the lower day. Again, we're approaching this from the standpoint of you, for aesthetics, you care more about your back and you don't care as much about your legs. So knowing that's your goal, how would we adjust the lower power day?
Probably even cut out calves. I definitely need calves you got to work on. So probably cut out leg curl. I mean, maybe just a whole exercise and just replace it with some core workouts.
Why cut it out? Do you have to cut it out?
No, you don't have to.
If you feel like it's too much volume, you can.
It's if I'm too fatigued to actually do my ab workout at the end of the routine, yes, I would have to cut it out.
That's a very good way to approach it as well. What I think you should consider doing is flipping squats and deadlifts. Just because you care more about your back, and deadlifts, generally speaking, are going to do much more for your back than squats would. But of course, we're coming back to the same issue, which is what? By pushing deadlifts first and putting squats second, what is that doing with our third exercise?
You're fatigued out a little.
You might be
faster.
Right. Yeah. You might be more fatigued for leg press because squats and leg press work very similar muscles. So I don't think that's a big deal because you care more about back than you do about legs. I think you'd be better suited for your goals to be fresher for deadlifts and push harder on deadlifts. That being said, I think we're done talking about how to modify the workout for volume and your goals. The next thing to look at is actual exercises, and are there any exercises you don't like and that you would want to change? For example, incline bench press hurts my shoulders, or I get shoulder pain from lateral raises, or I can't do squats because of some hip injury, stuff like that. Are there any exercises that we listed here? And actually, I'm gonna send you the link to this so that you can
yeah, sure.
So you can pull this up on your screen. I should have done that in the beginning. I apologize. But quickly look through that and tell me if there's any exercises that you feel like you would want to cut out because you just either you don't enjoy them, or on the flip side, you wish this exercise was in there because you really fucking loved cable rows. Man, I really love like flying skull crushers. That's my shit. You know what I mean? So these are the types of other modifications to ask ourselves.
Sure. Yeah. So day one, bent over rows. I've always struggled with those.
Okay.
It mostly comes with aligning my back properly, essentially.
Okay.
Like the actual getting the arms in placement, stuff like that. So I mean, I'm not bad opposed to it. I feel like if I don't do it, it's never gonna get better.
So
really, the only one comes day four.
Let's talk about that one first. Let's talk about the rows, and we'll just go kind of piece by piece until we're running out of time, so we're gonna have to end soon. But let's talk a little bit about the bent over rows. You said you had a hard time getting your back to align. Can you tell me more about that?
Sure. So it's when I'm actually going down, and I'll visually show you. It makes it a little easier.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm going down to actually do it like this, my arms tend to flare out, or one of mine does a little bit, and ends up just pulling off and not actually like one of my lats ends up feeling a bit better than the other one does, or actually working more.
What's the problem? It's just your lats. You feel like one lat's working harder than the other?
Correct. Yeah. So
okay.
maybe some supplemental
lighter
weights before. No pain. No.
Okay. So I would just try to like, you can send me a form check. I would try to just pay attention to making the other side work harder. If you feel like one side's working harder than the other side is not engaging, you can do some pre-activation for the side that you feel like is not doing anything. So pre-activation can help a lot with mind-muscle connection. So if you feel like one lat is not engaging and is creating imbalances, before you do the barbell rows, you could try like some sort of lat activation, isometric hold, where you just do something to activate, like get a band and just fucking like do a vertical pull or a horizontal pull or something like that as just examples to try to actively engage it. I'd have to think more about it to give a better answer about how to address it in this case. Another option too is to do slow negatives to as a warm up, do slower negatives to kind of just feel the activation for that particular muscle group. That being said, we don't have to barbell rows. I was just curious about it. Let's think of some other types of pulling movements that could replace it. Horizontal pulls, right? That's a barbell row. Horizontal pull. What would you do instead for other horizontal pulls that you would enjoy? And if you don't know any that you enjoy, I can just list some.
Yeah, just go ahead and list some.
So there's T-bar rows.
Right now is Pendlay row. That's too similar.
T-bar rows. Do you like T-bar rows?
Yeah.
I love T-bar rows.
Yeah, I do like those.
There's chest supported rows. If you have the equipment there, it's got a lot of different names, but basically the chest supported row where basically you're is basically like you're just laying down on a cushion for your chest. It's usually a slight incline, and then you get the weights, and then you're basically bent over and you're rowing, but your chest is supported. Does that make sense? You see those before? Not all gyms have these.
Yeah, my gym does not have that.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of a rarer piece of equipment, but if you don't have that, then that's fine. I would consider T-bar rows. Consider doing those, but also consider changing how you're doing your barbell rows to do other stuff too, like consider doing negatives or lightening the weight. Words are hard right now. Lightening the weight, and then basically changing up the rep range, stuff like that. Okay, what else? Yeah. What other exercises do you not like here or you wish were in this?
Okay. Breathe directly into the microphone real heavy.
Breathing ASMR.
Like I said earlier, I don't like machines, but I can see them for isolation being important. So day 4, anything I could go to a little more compound movements would be ideal. But again, it really is isolation work there and high rep range. Quick question. What is the RPE for these? Is it all like RPE 8 or is it like kind of just like what do you, or is that a stupid question?
No, it's not a stupid question. Off the top of my head, I don't know. Yeah. I don't remember, to be honest. If anyone chat knows what the RPE is for these, let me know. RPE, for those who don't know, is rate of perceived exertion. Another similar concept is called reps in reserve. It's basically just how many reps do you leave in reserve, because you shouldn't be going to failure on every single set, especially compound exercises. If they don't state what it is, I would just assume RPE 9 for almost everything, where you just stop like a rep short of complete failure. So, that's what I would just default to. Now, that's a good question, though. Any other exercises you just don't like or you wish were in here? If not, that's fine.
I'm trying to think what I really like. I really like drop setting, arm workouts. I really enjoy that, especially,
I like that
especially
too.
as a final.
Can you tell us?
That always gets me going.
Tell us what are drop sets?
So usually, actually machine related usually. So basically you start off at doing bicep curls at let's say 60 pounds or whatever it is. You do your working set of 8 reps, and then you drop down to 50. You just drop one peg and you do as many as you can. Then you drop down another peg and do as many as you can, and then you can do that indefinitely all the way down. But I usually do it with like 3 to 4 drops.
Yeah. So drop sets, I think, are fantastic as a finisher, especially if you want to do more volume. And I'm hearing from you want to do more volume. So I have no issues with throwing in drop sets at the end of any day for whatever exercise you wish you could do more of. They're great to just burn out at the end of your workout. The only consideration is if you do it on day one, that might impact your well, how to make this not confusing. Day 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm relabeling them as day 1, 2, 3, and 4. Just skipping the original day 3 is the off day, but since that doesn't fit your schedule, we're gonna make day 1 upper power, day 2 lower power, day 3 upper hypertrophy, day 4 lower hypertrophy. So day 1 or day 2 doing a drop set might impact the performance of day 3 or day 4. So do keep that in mind. If you're able to do drop sets at the end of day 1 and day 3, at the end of every day, it doesn't negatively impact you. More power to you, just fucking go for it. But if it is negatively impacting you, then put the drop sets at the end of day 3 and 4. Does that make sense?
Correct. Yeah. So trial and error initially.
Yes. Yes. Go from there. Definitely.
Okay.
So, what else? That's pretty much it. Anything else did you want to talk about for these?
The diet question.
Oh yeah, macro recommendations. What do you think you should do for your macros?
Realistically, the night before or the day before, maybe carb up on the power days, just a little bit more, and then that's basically the only difference that I'd probably make. Just carb up on day 0 and day after the power initial power one, day 1.
Have you tried that before in the past?
I haven't kept track of it. If I have, I really only time a year I actually do that is before my physical training test in the military. So no, I have not.
Go ahead and try it. Just pay attention if you notice any noticeable performance increases or performance changes. Okay. Because if are you cutting or bulking right now?
You cut out for me.
Are you cutting or bulking right now?
I'm currently cutting.
Okay, so carbing up in that sense probably does make sense, because if you're bulking, you may never feel like you need to carb up. You may never feel a difference. If you're cutting, you might feel a big difference. So yeah, I would probably shift your macros to be a little bit higher for carbs and protein on your training days before and after. So Wednesday would be like, if you want to do calorie cycling or carb cycling, this actually makes sense based on your schedule, to where you actually could shift calories and carbs to be basically lower calories on Wednesday or lower calories on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, preferably probably just Wednesday, and then higher calories or higher carbs on Friday through Monday. This is optional. It's not that big of a deal, but that's how I would potentially shift things. You don't have to though. What else do you want to hear about for the macro recommendations?
That answers my question.
So that's pretty much it. Because I think you know how to calculate your basic macros, right? Of proteins, carbs, and fats. Okay. So yeah.
Familiar with that. Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Guys, if you have any questions for Doc, start queuing them up now for preferably geared towards him or something we talked about today. And Doc, did you have any other thoughts or questions about anything or comments?
I really appreciate your time, honestly. But the first thing is it's great having that second opinion of someone really looking at your life and kind of calling you out on your bullshit, and that's most appreciated.
What did I do?
Because I feel like I get into this cycle of like I found out realistically every 8 weeks I kind of get into this slump, especially if I'm working out, regardless if I'm working out or not. Every 8 weeks I kind of get into the slump, and then sometimes it doesn't make it. I don't actually keep track of how long it is sometimes. But I feel like I'm at the end of that 8 weeks right now, and you kind of made me realize that I'm kind of in this like, not want to say depressed, but like foggy mindset, if you will.
Okay.
And I feel motivation again.
All right, great.
Especially start
I didn't know I did that, but I'll take it. What do you want to shout out? You want to talk about your hot sauce company?
Sure. Yeah. So I own a hot sauce company out of Rhode Island. We are veteran owned and operated. A portion of our profits do go to help support U.S. veterans, first responders, and their families as well. I'm assuming someone's going to link it in the chat. You guys can go check that out. We currently offer 2 sauces. The third one's on its way. When that does come out, also we did fix the cap situation, Tom. So that is good to go. I appreciate it. But we also have new labels, and I did write the dates correctly this time.
Good. I received a bottle of his Tango Mango. Right, Tango Mango was it?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it
I
was pretty
handwrite
good.
all the dates. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I mislabeled his a year like
Oopsies.
before he got it. Essentially.
Yeah, like I
And
died
was like, "Whoops."
basically. It was basically expired already when I got it. That was fine. Guys, do me a favor and queue up the questions specifically for him! Exclamation mark Q. There's a chat. Someone in chat, Knuckles, asking, "Are you a gamer? What do you play?"
Yeah. So I'm a gamer. I'm getting better at not playing as much, but my main go-to game right now is League of Legends, and that's on my PC. And then on Xbox, I've been playing a lot of what the hell is it? Battlefront 2. I bought it on sale during Christmas. I've been playing that a bunch.
I'm so sorry that you play League. My condolences. So
I've been playing since beta, so it's kind of just like I am one with the toxic.
yeah, pour one out for the homies, guys. He's lost, a lost cause. Esteniel, what about Esteniel asked, do you switch up at your workouts regularly?
Say it again, please.
Do you switch out your do you switch up your workouts regularly?
Like I was saying earlier, I like to do every 8 weeks, give or take. But sometimes I don't actually keep track of when 8 weeks is up. That makes sense. That answers your question. I try to, but it doesn't always happen.
I see. Someone asked, Knuckles asked, what's your ELO?
I'm currently in low diamond.
Okay. I don't know what that really means. It sounds good. I don't know what it practically
I don't know
means.
the actual what it translates over. So yeah, it's like there's two or three tiers above me.
Okay.
I think, but like yeah, majority of the players are, I think, silver.
Okay. So
yeah,
that's it for the questions. The last thing before you go, Doc, Legion is sponsoring this interview. You get to choose anything you think is going to help you on your journey for diet and fitness. So any products in particular you want? If not, you can take your time to think about anything that you wanted to get.
Oh no, I know. I didn't realize this was even part of it.
Surprise!
So
it's like Oprah. You get a supplement.
Yeah.
You get a supplement. You get a supplement.
Yeah. So I do currently use their pre-workout, the caffeine-free one. I freaking love it.
Awesome.
I think I'm using the fruit punch one right now. I like the grape one as well. But yeah, any of the flavors are fine with me.
Okay. Are you interested in doing? Do you just want more Pulse pre-workout, caffeine-free?
Yeah, sure. That'd be awesome.
All right, awesome. We'll hook you up with that. Okay. All right. So remind me, we'll talk about a Discord after. We're going to be ending this interview. Any last words, Doc?
No, nothing else for you. I just want to thank you for your time again. I really do appreciate it.
No problem, Doc. All right. Have a good one. If you like the content, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Also, follow us on Twitch and leave the notifications on. Feed your brain, feed your body, and see you next time.